Georgiana Cemetery, also known as Crooked Mile Cemetery, is one of the oldest cemeteries in Brevard. Walking around, you'll see the final resting places of some of Brevard's oldest pioneer families. It's a beautiful, quiet spot, but some people say it's not peaceful. Some people say it's one of the most active haunted locations in Brevard County. Nestled in a quiet residential neighborhood on Merritt Island is the Georgiana Methodist Church and the nearby Georgiana Cemetery. Georgiana was an important piece of early Brevard history and remains an important piece of Brevard's haunted history because of at least one notable occupant.
Georgiana was one of a group of communities established on what is now Merritt Island in the late 1800s. The Georgiana Methodist Church was established in 1886 to serve about 20 families who lived in the vicinity, working primarily as citrus and pineapple farmers. Some of the early settlers in Georgiana were William Whitfield, Charles Magruder, and Del Munson. Life was very remote at the time on Merritt Island. Mail and supplies were delivered by boat at community docks along the Indian River. In an oral history recorded with Caroline P. Rossiter in the 1970s, she remembered riding on a mailboat as a child in the early 20th century. The boat would leave O'Galley at about 7 in the morning and stop at each of the community docks on Merritt Island on its way to Cocoa. The first stop was at a community called Tropic, then there was Osteen, and then Georgiana. Rossiter said that people in each community would come down to greet the mailboat. Children would bring their pets or some other item of interest to share, and ladies would bring cookies or some other food down to the dock to share. The boat would leave Cocoa at about 5 in the evening, reloaded, and go back down to O'Galley. Rossiter remembered stopping at one dock on the return trip to O'Galley where only the men were allowed to leave the boat. The women and children had to remain on board. And she learned many years later that there was a moonshine still at that stop on Merritt Island. As people passed away in Georgiana, a cemetery was, of course, built next to the church, making it one of the oldest cemeteries in the area. The Georgiana Cemetery is also known as the Crooked Mile Cemetery. Now, I'm not sure if the story about the moonshine still near Georgiana and the cemetery's nickname are related, but walking a crooked mile does generally refer to walking while intoxicated. One of the most notable people buried in Georgiana Cemetery is Ethel Allen, who was a murder victim here in Brevard County.
Ethel Allen was a teenager who enjoyed frequenting Jack's Tavern in Rockledge, which is now Ashley's Restaurant. She was only 19 years old when she was brutally murdered. Her body was found floating in the Indian River, but her killer was never found. That was in 1934. Now, in last year's Haunted Brevard, we told you the legends of how she supposedly haunts Ashley's Restaurant, but some say that's not the only place that's visited by her restless spirit. Some say she's right here in Georgiana Cemetery.
Georgiana's a lot of fun. I took my brothers out there. We had the K2, we had the real time, and we had the EMF. Basically just standard outdoor gear. And the K2 kept going off, and we kept hearing a lot of answers in the real time. So it kept going off for my brother, my one brother. It wouldn't go off for anybody else. So he goes, okay, well, if you go stand next to your headstone, maybe I can, find you and know your name. And I don't know if you remember last year, Stuart was a grumpy old man. So was this. He goes, oh, if you go over to your headstone, we can find you. And the thing that came through said, hell no. So my brother continues to ask questions, and he goes, oh, was there anything special about me? Is that why you're only talking to me? No. So we followed him around for a while and just kept getting standard old angry man answers. But we do also believe that Ethel does linger there every once in a while. I know everything that we talk about circles back to Ethel. So I do believe she is there too, and we've gotten a child there before. The child told us to run, and something that we refer to as a trickster, which will drain our equipment real fast and just play jokes on us the whole time.
Georgiana is a beautiful, quiet spot, but amateur ghost hunters be warned. The residents in the area are very protective of the cemetery and will call law enforcement if unwanted visitors are at the site after dusk.